There and how the U.S. was involved was not yet known, and probably won't be for decades until the relevant documents are declassified. But based on previous 100 years, it would be pretty surprising if the Americans did not play a role. Over in Iran, which again we know is kind of the holy grail of conservative bombing sites, the Abrams apparently played a key role in squelching a peace proposal from Iran in 2003. Abrams was also the center of another attempt to thwart the outcome of a democratic election in 2006 over in Israel and Palestine. Bush had pushed for the legislative elections in the West Bank and Gaza to give Fatah, a highly corrupt Palestinian organization headed by Yasser Arafat's successor, Mahmoud Abbas, some badly needed legitimacy. To everyone's surprise, Fatah's rival, Hamas, won, giving it the right to form a government. This unpleasant outburst of democracy was not acceptable to the Bush administration, in particular Condoleezza Rice, and Abrams. They now hatched a plan to form a Fatah militia to take over the Gaza Strip and crush Hamas in its home territory. But here's the thing, it didn't work. But Hamas stole a march on the Fatah with their own ultra-violence, and that's what leads to perception. Hamas, again, it was just like the literal political party that got violent due to the fact that the U.S. tried to overthrow their democratically elected government, and now it's considered a terrorist group that now leads Italy. So, yeah, crazy stuff. There's so much more here. So no matter what gruesome particulars of Abrams' career you want to choose, the important thing to remember is that as the U.S. Eagle tightens its razor-sharp talons around yet another Latin American country, is that Abrams isn't that exceptional. He's a cog in the machine. It's the machine that's the problem, not its malevolent parts. And the idea of kind of U.S. interventionism so prevalent throughout our time. We've seen it happen time and time again. This guy has been there at almost every major point. And the fact that he's coming back to Venezuela after all the things to help the Trump administration deal with Venezuela should make anyone who's against the idea of an intervention or an invasion even deeply, deeply worried. Elliot Abrams leading the charge of restoring democracy to Venezuela is something that should chill everyone who wants to see no more war to the bone. All right. Finally, we lighten the mood up with, by the way, great article there from John Schwartz, but another great article from Mehdi Hassan that starts very appealingly. Is this a joke? Billionaire Howard Schultz is considering running for president of the United States. The ex-Starbucks CEO and former owner of the Seattle Supersonics, who has zero experience in government or politics, thinks Donald Trump is not qualified to be commander-in-chief. So pot calling the kettle back there for sure. If Trump is not qualified, what the hell is Schultz? In all fairness to the pretend president, Trump is able to command crowds and attention like no other politician on the right. His name recognition was off the charts when he ran in the Republican primaries in 2016. The owner, the Starbucks boss, on the other hand, literally has, what is he going for him? He has nice connections to billionaires because he is one. He's pretty much a charisma-free zone. The only crowds he seems to attract are hecklers. And the truth is, though, despite claiming to be bored by Trump, voicing his opposition to the president's vitriolic displays of bigotry and hate and divisiveness, Schultz has far more in common with the reality star turned POTUS than he likes to admit. That's the thing. His Trumpian ego has made him think that an old random white guy who got rich selling coffee thinks he can now be the leader of the free world. Again, just ridiculous. Trying to buy his way to the presidency is what we see here. And getting a lot of media coverage for doing it. Attacking the ideas of the 70% tax rate as suggested by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And he said the majority of Americans are opposed to it. But that's a complete lie. As 59% voters support this tax proposal, according to a Hill Harris X survey. But again, I always start with the billionaires in the end. Who cares about polls? Where have we heard that before? Donald Trump. Excuse me. Schultz is apparently, he's a lifelong Democrat. He spent the past few days hurdling a series of false accusations, not against Trump, but against Democrats. He attacked Kamala Harris's support for Medicare for All as non-American, which is absurd, given that Medicare itself has been around for more than 50 years, and Medicare is polling at 70%, with majority of support even among the Republicans now. Schultz also said that the greatest threat domestically to the country is this $21 trillion debt hanging over the cloud of America. Again, a leading number of economists disagree with him on the debt. As Zach Carter points out, his $21.5 trillion debt monster is an exaggeration. It includes trillions of dollars the government owes to itself, which is important. Oh, and for the record, a whopping 2% of Americans cite the federal debt as the most important thing facing the country today. I mean, you're living with your head in the clouds if you think the majority of Americans, they're like, if you talk about the debt on the campaign trail, they're going to be like, yay, we really care. No. Yeah, according to an investigation by the Young Turks, Schultz donated less than $3.4 billion. It's less than 1% of his $3.4 billion net worth to his own charity. All told, reported TYT, Schultz has given an estimated 2.5% of his wealth to the family nonprofit. Family nonprofit, again, based on tax filings dating back to 1999. Where do we know that from? That is, sounds like Donald Trump. Hates giving to charity, pretty much. The former Starbucks CEO does not like paying higher taxes. He's a deficit hawk, and he isn't opposed, though, to Trump's deficit-busting tax cuts, only the size of them. He lambasted Senator Elizabeth Warren's new proposal as a wealth tax as ridiculous. And again, that's something he had to pay, which obviously he doesn't like it. And this is, again, what he's saying. Let's see. What was this quote? I really do want to get this quote from him about the whatever. I don't even care. Let's get rid of that. But still, in the end, the point is he's a lot more in common with Trump than he thinks. His beloved coffee chain doesn't have a much better record on taxation, by the way. Starbucks' European division paid near $5.9 million in taxes on UK profits of $213 million, an effective tax rate of just 2.8%. Wow. The self-deprecating Schultz, unlike the president, is willing to concede that he's not the smartest person in the room. It's nice. For a start, though, why does he think he has any chance of winning a presidency in 2020? What's his route to victory in what we now know as a completely two-party system? Schultz is, again, he's the political neophyte. He doesn't even understand how presidential candidates get on the ballot. He thinks that polls showing that 4 in 10 Americans identify as independents means his own independent presidential campaign will attract widespread support, when reams of evidence suggest that self-styled independents are actually, again, closet partisans. People are like, well, I'm an independent because I agree with some of the... No, but they end up voting for Republicans or Democrats either time, anyway, for a variety of reasons, but they just don't know enough about the party yet. So only 7% of people who identify as independents truly don't like either party, according to Samara Carr, and an NPR report. Schultz, it seems, though, is Trump without the tan, bluster, or the border wall. So, yeah, it's just literally everything about Trump that's bad. And every billionaire trait that, by the way, that Trump has, where you got stinginess, you got not wanting to pay tax cuts, not wanting to donate to charity, hating Medicare for all, like all the bad things that billionaires do without any of the interesting stuff that Trump does. For example, I mean, you got his like bluster, his like weird insults, his just plain idiocy. It's all very funny stuff. There was a very deliberate praise again heaped on Schultz by the likes of Hugh Hewitt and Fox and Friends. Is there a way then of kind of dissuading the ill-informed, egomaniacal Schultz from burning through $100 million on a pointless Trump-boozing presidential campaign? Will op-eds work possibly? Consumer boycott of Starbucks? Who knows? We will, we'll see about that. But until then, keep yelling at Schultz during his Barnes & Noble book events for his listening tour. Make sure he hears more words like "Don't elect Trump, you egotistical billionaire asshole." That's something that someone shouted at him in New York this past week. All right, went a little long today. Hope you enjoyed the show, though. We will be back. But Super Bowl special this Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. We'll have a Super Bowl special for you. And Newsflash coming Monday or late Sunday night. So stay tuned for all that. It is the Spencer Walsh Show. Oh, I apologize. It's the Spencer Walsh Radio Network, not the Spencer Walsh Show. What am I saying? We get a little nostalgic for the old days of the Spencer Walsh Show. All right, it's SWRN Newsflash. Thank you so much for listening. We out of here.